Hey guys, I'm at the drive-in tonight. I'm going to go see A Quiet Place 2, which I'm extremely excited about. I loved the first one. I gushed about the first one. And believe it or not, the second movie is going to be Top Gun, the original. The one that, it didn't put Tom Cruise on the map, but it did solidify his place in Hollywood, for sure. I'm really excited about this. Now, really quickly, before we get into the reviews, I did want to mention, I kind of gave up on Netflix a few years ago. I haven't watched Netflix consistently in a while. And then, so today I was setting up to play Minecraft, and I needed some noise off on the monitor right next to my computer. So I went on Netflix, and I found another series based on a comic book called Sweet Tooth. And I just put it on just for the shits and giggles of it. And just, like I said, to have noise in the background. And I had to quit my game. Oh my God, guys, if you haven't watched Sweet Tooth, what are you doing with your life? Seriously, I only watched one episode, but I was on the verge of tears the whole time. It was definitely something that got you emotionally involved in that story from the very beginning. And it kept you there. And it introduced really good characters and really good acting. So that's my quick way of telling you, go to Netflix and watch Sweet Tooth right now. All right, but I'm going to be back in just a few seconds to let you know what I think about A Quiet Place 2. Man, if they screw it up, I'm going to be mad. All right, see ya. Do you guys remember my intro where I talked about a new Netflix show I was watching, Sweet Tooth? Sweet Tooth it's a small story with a scientific bent to it, with a handful of characters, not like maybe 2 or 3 main characters, and that's all you get to see throughout the movie or the television show. And the strength of that story is the emotional bond that we create with those characters, and the way that it continues that emotional bond and gives you a premise that strengthens and endears you to those characters. What I'm saying is the strength of that is that emotional bond you have with those characters. What I'm saying about this movie is exactly the same. It's pardon the pun, it is a very quiet movie. There's not a lot that happens in this movie. We get to follow along with these series of events with very quiet, very small moments. And those small moments are very emotional and very effective in making us care about these characters. That is the strength of this movie. Basically, we have, I'm going to spoil the original movie. What was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? We all know that John Krasinski's, I don't know, but his character dies very heroically in the first movie. He's actually in this movie, but it's more of a flashback to show you how the situation started, but actually to establish a few more characters that we meet in this movie. These characters are very relatable and very likable, and because of that, we are very willing to get through these slow moments, to get to the suspense moments, which are very small and very short, but very effective because of the emotional bond that we created with these characters. What score would I give this movie? Well, I'm going to give it another 100. Now, you know what? It was a little less suspenseful than the first movie, and it was just a tad. Don't don't crucify me for this, but it's just a tad, a little more boring than the first movie. I'm going to give it a 95 because we already knew the premise. It wasn't like something new and fresh that we were getting, but at the same time, it still had an emotional tug that the first movie had, and it delivered in spades, and we had a good time. The only criticism I might have is this movie really ends on a very quick note, but I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but more than likely they did that so that we could get a third movie. We're going to see A Quiet Place 3, I guarantee it. Alright guys, that's it. 95 is a very healthy score for a very, very entertaining movie. If you're looking for action-packed, do not go see this movie. If you're looking for something, with a flavor of science fiction, with a lot of suspense, this is totally your movie. This is something that you totally want to watch, and you totally want to watch in the movie theater. Go see this in a movie theater. Help these movie theaters out because they are struggling because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. All right, on to Top Gun. I have not seen this in years. You know what? Honestly, it showed at the second run theater that I used to work at, and I don't think I've ever seen it since then. I think I've seen it in passing on AMC as I was flipping through the channels, but I don't think I've ever watched it completely 100% through again. So I'm excited to see this movie. It's concession stand time, and I will be back in just a few seconds to let you know a few thoughts on Top Gun. All right, see ya. Bye. Hey guys, I just got done watching Top Gun. You guys are expecting me to poo on this movie, aren't you? Man, I'm going to resist the urge, but I really want to. All right, so I have a few thoughts, and they're all jumping over my head, so I'm gonna try to organize them for you, but I'm not making any promises. First off, I want to make a comparison between this movie and the last movie I just watched. A Quiet Place was, again, pardon the pun, but a very quiet movie. The analogy that keeps coming to my head is A Quiet Place was a movie that was stripped down. It was actually, now don't get me wrong, there was some spoken dialogue in that movie, but it was, a lot of it was taken out, and it was more of like facial expressions and body language that told the story. To me, I would like to liken that onto kind of like an acoustic song. It was stripped down. It was missing a lot of the elements that a normal rock song has. Where this movie was pure and simple. It was a rock pop song, pure and simple. It was a lot of fluff, and honestly, it got on my nerves. It got on my nerves a lot. The only thing that this movie really has that attracts me is those very orchestrated beats. I did tear up when Anthony Michaels, I forget what his name is, Anthony Richards? I don't know. I did tear up when his partner Goose bit it and caught his head on the canopy, and then I died. That was a very deliberate plot device, and I did get hooked, and I did get tricked into feeling for that character. But other than that, this movie was very, it didn't engage me at all. I didn't feel for these characters. I found this movie very formulaic, and so let's go ahead and just give you a couple bullet points here. Yes, I like Tom Cruise, but he didn't deliver the lines in a convincing manner for me. There was only one or two actors in this movie I really bought. The writing in this movie was atrocious. There were scenes in it that were orchestrated just for exposition. Like, how do we get to point A and point B? We need a scene in between this. There was one scene where a guy overhears a conversation, and then on the phone you see him talking and saying, yeah, Maverick's out. That was there that was a lazy way of letting us know how the plot was developing. So poor writing, poor dialogue. I didn't find. I always liked Tom Cruise. I found Tom Cruise to be very suave and very in control. So felt Kilmer, but given the plot and given the lines that they were given, they only had so much to work with, and this is not a good movie. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy this movie. I did not enjoy it. I was bored, all the way up to the point where I was supposed to feel bad, and then I did feel bad, and then at the end, when I was supposed to cheer for him, I did cheer for him, but it was a very fleeting moment, and it did not make up for the rest of the exposition I had to get through to get to those parts. I would definitely give this a 55%. It was just not a good movie. I didn't enjoy it. And I did want to mention, man, talking about The Quiet Place, there were a lot of quiet moments in that. Again, I don't want to drive this into the ground, but this movie in itself, it just seemed like the music was almost a second character. It was like they really drove home these scenes with like just really bad, cheesy 80s music. And it was like almost competing with the dialogue. And not that I didn't know what they were saying, it just complicated it and made the scenes a little more chaotic for me. I didn't find the directing of this movie all that well either. 55% is it. That's all I'm going to give this movie. But A Quiet Place was a great movie. I did enjoy it. There was some characters and some character redemption in this movie that I really did get behind and really did enjoy. 95 for A Quiet Place 2. 55%, a low 55% for Top Gun. And I know a lot of people are going to be angry with me, but I don't care. It's a bad movie. That's it, guys. Once again, as always, I wish everybody peace, Montanay. I'll talk to you guys later, and goodbye.